on three. 1, 2, 3, Canada!
Canada's national senior women's team made history on Wednesday when, for the second time ever, they beat France. Prior to the 14-5 victory, it had been 11 years since they had won against the European nation. As one of the younger players on the Canadian team, Julianne Zussman was unaware of the extent of the rivalry.
And I knew that it was a rivalry. I watched the game from home in 2006 where we lost for bronze, and then of course I was on the field in August, and I know how close that game was. So I knew that it was a long-standing rivalry. I didn't know we had one in 11 years, and finding that out and having the opportunity to be a part of that and just feeling the energy from the vets just throughout the week and all that made it that much more exciting.
On Saturday, the Canadian women will make history again. As a curtain raiser for a men's international between Samoa and France, Canada will play the French women at Stade de France. It will mark the first time a women's international has been played at the renowned stadium. Wednesday's match captain, Marie Gallo, counted the inexperience of Canada's newer players as an advantage for her squad.
There was no hesitation on their part, you know what I mean? They just went for it, they knew what we can do, whereas some of us maybe held back because we thought, oh, you know, we've been beaten by France before. But it was nice to see kind of like their ignorance, which was actually awesome, because that gave us the belief as well as vets to be like, hey, if they think we can beat them, why can't we think the same way?
France will be our first real step to World Cup preparation.
The average age on Canada's squad is 27, but the two opposite ends of the age spectrum have had entirely different experiences when it comes to playing the French. Assistant coach Chris Descosa, who played at Bath, says Canada's mix of old and new players was the key to their historic win.
The game yesterday was a reflection of experience and brand new players finding a way that just complements each other's play. The enthusiasm and the freshness of the young players mixed with the experience and the level of commitment of the more experienced players just produced a great result, and that reflects into the squad itself.
Regardless of their chronological age, the Canadian women seem to get along with each other extremely well, an added feat considering the only time they get to spend together is on a handful of these tours every year. Their solidarity will be an asset leading up to the 2010 World Cup. Spotting an opportunity for development, both France and Canada used Wednesday's match to start new caps, but it was still a full international, and the French were visibly unimpressed with the loss at the post-match function.
The speeches on Wednesday night, I think I heard the word revenge twice. You know, their captain was, you know, thinking of the 15's hard work, but also thinking that it wasn't good enough.
Ironically, on the same day that Canada recorded its historic win over France, the IRB announced that the two teams will share the same pool at the 2010 World Cup.
France handpicked Canada for the first match at the National Stadium. The Canadians were honoured to accept, but they also took the invitation as a warning shot.
There's kind of two sides to it. It's an honor to be invited because it is the first time, but I also think they picked a team that they can win in front of a crowd, right? So you definitely don't want to pick the best in the world, although we're aiming, and I think we have the potential to be the best in the world. But they obviously invited us to have a close match, but hopefully a win for them. So we're very aware of that, you know what I mean? Like, they think we're beatable, so we're going to try to use that, reverse it on them, and hopefully have, you know, the win on our side, not theirs.
The French are expected to treat the match at Stade like a World Cup, but the Canadian team is looking forward to the challenge.
We are relishing the opportunity to test ourselves again against stronger, bigger girls. We know it's going to be a huge challenge because France being 1-0 down are going to come back at us. And it's going to be a cauldron, it really is. However, we need to face those challenges.
Canada and France will kick off at 3 p.m. on Saturday at Stade de France. Reporting for HeavensGame.com, I'm Meghan Mutrie in Paris.